from Cleveland's most accurate weather team. This is 19 First Alert Plus, sponsored by the man that makes them pay, Tim Misney.
Well, good afternoon. I'm Dan DeRose with 19 News. We've got to tell you about a first alert weather day for not today, but tomorrow, even though today is going to be toasty as well. We can even take a live look into downtown Cleveland. You might be able to see the lights are on at Progressive Field there on the right side. That's because there is a day-night doubleheader happening right now in downtown Cleveland, and it is toasty, 90 degrees today. Even a little bit warmer expected tomorrow, but let's get straight to 19 First Alert meteorologist Andy Chillian. Andy, I want you to explain for our viewers, most of them know already, but what do we mean by an alert day?
Yeah, Dan, so we issue those in advance of weather conditions that can be impactful to outside activities, really just your daily lives, so what could have an impact. And so in this case, we're looking at the 19 First Alert weather day for two things on Tuesday. During the daytime hours, it's going to be for the heat and humidity. And yeah, I know we've gone through this before, but remember last week it was so nice out there, it felt like fall. Now we're talking about the return of those hot and humid conditions. Some kids are back in schools. Some schools may not have AC, so you want to make sure that you're taking precautions with this heat because it begins to get a bit more dangerous and hazardous when we're talking about temperatures in the low to mid 90s. And once that heat index, that feels like temperature when you factor in the humidity, gets 95 to 100, things can be dangerous if you're spending any extended time outside. So that's why we're giving you an alert to that, impacting maybe your daily lives outside tomorrow. If you're wanting to go out, take a dog on a walk or something, remember the pavement as well. If it's too hot for your bare feet, then it's going to be too hot for the paws as well. So that's part one tomorrow. Now part two is the potential for some storms, of which could be severe. Now latest model data coming in saying it looks like tomorrow during the day is actually going to be pretty quiet. Similar to today, we're really not seeing much. But we have to watch is tomorrow night. So literally overnight, I'm talking like 2 in the morning potentially, so early Wednesday really, is when we could have a complex of some storms coming in from the north and west. May not weaken before it gets here, so we could be dealing with some damaging wind gusts, some heavy rain. In a pattern like we're in right now, things can change on the fly. We talk about nowcasting. What does the radar look like an hour or two ahead of time instead of a day or two ahead of time? We may be placed in one of those situations. But either way, this First Alert weather day is going to be for heat tomorrow during the day and then for a storm risk tomorrow night. But meanwhile, we're talking about current conditions. Let's bring things back right now. Yes, we have hit 90 officially in Cleveland, so adding to that number this year, and it is basically hot everywhere else as well, even if it's not 90 in Akron, it's 89. Look at New Philadelphia, 93 right now, so definitely a hot one out there for sure, and it feels a bit hotter when you factor in the humidity. Really nothing on radar right now. We've had those stream of showers across western Pennsylvania. It looks like eastern Ohio, just outside of our area, closer to Youngstown, a shower has popped up. This is from that same essentially type of setup that we saw yesterday morning, where your Sunday morning plans dampened by some rain. Well, we're on the edge of what's called the ring of fire. We talk about this a lot. It's a summertime setup, and I just love the term because it really fits it well. There's a big old heat ridge that's over the central part of the country. Look at even Chicago right now in the 90s, 97 in St. Louis at this hour, 92 in Louisville. So that's where the heat ridge is. We're on the edge of it. When you get on the edge of heat ridges, you get showers and thunderstorms developing, and so that's what we have to watch the next couple of days. What develops up in Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, and what heads our way? We will keep a close eye out for that, and that's why we have a 19 First Alert weather day in effect tomorrow, especially during the nighttime hours for those storms. So I'm throwing a lot of information at you. You may be wondering, all right, what's going on? Let's time things out. First Alert Future View shows it well. Really not much in terms of rain throughout the day. So good news for that doubleheader happening at Progressive Field, as Dan mentioned. We've got temperatures overnight not really dropping much. If you liked the cool, crisp mornings we had last week, we're taking a break from those for now. Temperatures tomorrow morning start upper 60s, lower 70s. Really not much going on with rain throughout the day. You can see maybe some things get close by in Menor, Ashtabula. This is noon tomorrow. Then I'll step through. Notice those temperatures well into the 90s for most of us tomorrow. Still not a lot of rain, but here we go as we head overnight. Okay, so this is 1, 2 in the morning on Wednesday, so literally overnight. Most of us will be sleeping, but we got to be careful and watch as what happens, as we could see some thunderstorm complexes coming from the north and west. This does have the potential to be severe, damaging wind gusts, heavy rainfall that would move through, and then we'll quiet down for a lot of Wednesday. We'll watch, though, potentially a storm risk later on Wednesday as well. Now, when I do show you model runs like this, again, I talked about nowcasting. We may end up having to see how things play out. That may not play out verbatim. It just gives you an idea of what could happen this time tomorrow night. So at least in the near term here, we're not looking too bad. Right now, again, it's a hot one with temperatures near 90, and we do look to see things that will certainly be remaining pretty warm as we head through the evening hours as well. So lots to know I've covered, Dan. We still have to get to the 7-day, but for right now, I'll send things back to you briefly.
I know this. The next couple of days are going to be really interesting. We're speaking with Jeff Tanchek today. You guys are going to be busy. Let's take that 15-second pause and look at the rest of the week.
I've represented families just like yours for over 4 decades. Listen, if you need me, call me. You know I'll be there for you, and I'll make them pay. In the meantime, I'll keep an eye out for you.
And I always like to call attention to the reason Tuesday is red is, of course, it is a first alert weather day. It says it right there in the middle of the box. Andy, walk us through the rest of the week.
Yeah, so here's what we're looking at, and you can see a pretty interesting week ahead. So tomorrow, our first alert weather day because of the hot temperatures, the potential for storms. Wednesday, we may end up issuing one because temperatures are going to be fairly similar. We don't have one right now. We'll see what some of the latest data has. But basically, I would treat Wednesday right now the same as Tuesday. Sometimes we just kind of add these on. You may want to be aware really over the next couple of days, that is for sure. We have another storm risk on Wednesday. During the day, it looks to be quiet again. May end up being Wednesday night, a few storms. And now Thursday, new data coming in saying that we may end up seeing a couple storms on Thursday as well. Everything's very isolated to scattered. So there's no reason to look at a storm risk on any one day and say I need to cancel my plans, because it's not going to be like that. Just be aware, be alert, hence why we have the first alert weather days. Now Friday looks to be quiet a lot of the day. Looks like Friday evening into Friday night we're going to see some storms moving through. Of course, we've got high school football going on, so we'll have to time things out. That's still way too far in advance, but look at how warm it's going to be for those football games. The temperatures during the day are going to be close to 90. It'll still be pretty warm in the evening, but look what happens. I mean, you cannot time things better out better for a Labor Day weekend. Much nicer out there. Right now looking dry Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, so we get the trifecta of that. 3 days looking good. We've got cooler temperatures, maybe only a little bit too cool if you want to, to go to the pool or enjoy the beach on Monday, because we're only be in the 70s on the holiday itself. But it looks like that's when we're going to see a pretty significant pattern change, and signs are pointing to much cooler temperatures for next week and beyond. So we got a little something for everybody. If you enjoyed last week's weather, you're going to have to wait a week. If you like this summery feel, then this is the week for you. But it obviously comes with a daily risk for some of those showers and storms, which could be severe, and that's why we're giving you the first alert to both the heat and the storm risk here, Dan, over tomorrow and even potentially Wednesday as well.
Excellent stuff, Andy. Thanks for the team giving us that first alert, that heads up for tomorrow and really the rest of the week. We'll see you at 3 o'clock. We appreciate it.
All right, sounds good. Thank you.
All right, take care. We do have 3.5 hours of news and weather starting at 3 o'clock on Channel 19. One final look into downtown. Let's go Guards as they're taking on the Kansas City Royals for a doubleheader today. Any other breaking news, it'll be right here on our digital platforms. Until then, I'm Dan DeRose with 19. Have a beautiful afternoon.
19 News is everywhere. Download our CTV apps and follow us on social media at Cleveland 19 News.